Welcome, my fellow Koopalings, to another episode of Earthfall Campaigns Reviewed. This time, it's the fourth campaign, Sunnyvale, one of my favorites. The level starts out right after escaping the data facility through the sewage tunnels, and we end up in this back road near the highway, which we need to find to take to a trailer park, which we have since learned contains a resistant stash. The first thing we do is hop down the hill to this abandoned campsite to obtain our first weapons and supplies at the start of the game.
Nice MP5 over here.
One of my favorite things about this level right off the bat is the geometry and the design of the level, how you traverse these backwoods trails, the highway, and of course it's autumn, so we've got these amazing yellows and reds that stand in a tremendous contrast to the deep greens of the northwest. As we further descend, we come upon this campsite parked right at the edge of this pond, which I guess is pretty smart. They're looking for a clean source of water as long as you can boil the scummy pond water. However, the byproduct of being so close to a body of water is everything's going to get wet and moist. Past the campsite, we have two options for traversal. We can go up to the right along the edge, which is a pretty straightforward affair, nothing too much to see here, and then a slightly more exciting route to the bottom left through a little slot canyon where we come across more abandoned campsites with potential weapons, crates, and other supplies. Oh, and we get to blow stuff up, which is awesome. Arriving at a dead end, we boot up this forklift to raise a platform that allows us to hop over the fence, and naturally this triggers a horde.
Looks like the speed limit on this highway is about 0. Let's find that trailer park.
There's a few loot options at the back of this truck. Continuing on down the highway, we eventually reach a dead end with some potential supplies.
Better find a way around.
And since it's barricaded off, we have to find a way around. Going through this trail, we come across another abandoned campsite with even more potential loot, guns, weapons, and ammo. Keep an eye out for these crates. There's quite a few of them in this level. Upon reaching the trailer park, we discover that it's all blocked off, so we need to find another way in. And just be wary that this is usually where a boss spawns.
Hey, watch out for this landmine here.
Reaching the end of the road, we see this mysterious pile of explosive barrels on top of a sewage crate. Blow those up to proceed through the sewer to sneak into the trailer park. Oh, and this alerts a horde, so yeah. This is one of my favorite areas to explore once you actually make it inside. There's a lot of places to see, there's a lot of loot to possibly acquire, and it's just an overall unique location that stands out.
Hey, ammo here. Get this goo off me.
Assault shotgun here.
About halfway through the trailer park, in order to proceed, you must jump onto this car, which is rigged to go off at the alarm, naturally alerting the swarm. Shortly after this swarm encounter is another typical location for a boss fight. And this is just a general Earthfall tip, but whenever you see a police car parked in front of a house, that probably means that a police officer lives there, and therefore there's going to be some really powerful weapons and possibly some health kits close by. And that's some really nice and simple exposition that exists throughout all of the levels in Earthfall. It's pretty cool.
Over here. It's their sign.
Alright, well, we've made it. We've gone to the ends of the trailer park and have found the bunker. Only one problem is that it is locked up tight, and we're going to need to burn through the doors in order to get inside. This is probably the worst part of the level, really only if you're playing single player like I typically do. And that's again because you can't command or ask your AI buddies to help carry things for you. You have to carry everything yourself. And so the general setup for the grand finale just takes a really long time, and that's just such a drag when you're playing single player. Now all you have to do is survive the horde, survive the final boss, and make a run for it into the bunker.
Jackpot! Get in there and load up.
So, what do I think about Sunnyvale? Well, overall, I think it's really, really solid. This is one of my favorite levels in the entire game, and I don't really have too many complaints. I love the geometry, I love the colors, I love the location, I love the traversal options. I also really like the exposition of all of the empty and abandoned campsites. The only really downsides I have, as I said this before, is the trees, as pretty as they are, they seem like they're watercolors, and that's like a totally different art style than the realism of the rest of the character models, etc. It's not really that big of a deal, it just strikes me as odd. Still, it's really pretty. Also, the end part where you have to carry the thermite to attach to the door is a huge drag when you're playing single player. This is a general problem with the 4-player co-op action shooter genre, is when you're playing by yourself, there's, as far as I know, no game allows you to command your bot friends to pick up things and use items on your behalf. And so that just means that it takes a little bit of time to get everything set up for the grand finale. Other than that, though, like, gosh dang it, guys, this is a fantastic level, one of my favorites, if not my absolute favorite, but that remains to be seen. Thank you for watching this review. I rate Sunnyvale a great, and we'll see you next time.